Hello guys, I'm just here to show you how you can learn SQL on your own and be good at it even if you don't have any um, knowledge about what SQL is. So I'm just going to show you what you can use to help you better um, improve or learn SQL. Well, for me, I believe that the easiest way to learn anything is by doing something like practicing. So the easiest way to learn SQL is by taking a data set and actually putting everything or practicing some of those functions that's in SQL. It helps you to better understand. So the question is, how do you get started? I'm just going to show you two resources I will recommend from my own end, and I'll show you an example on how to use those tools that I will recommend. Firstly is I'll recommend W3schools. It's a very powerful tool you can use to learn SQL. We're going to run through an example and I'll show you how you can use this particular tool to actually learn SQL. Another thing is Google. Google has to be your friend because sometimes you may get stuck, sometimes you may not really understand what to do. But asking Google, it helps you it gives you an idea on how to solve that particular problem. All you just need to do is put into practice what you've learned or manipulate some of those things you must have seen, and it will get the job done. I'll just show you briefly. Now, we'll just start briefly. There is this data set I got from the NBA website. I did a web scraping on that side to get the data. So we're going to see how the data look like, because I keep hearing people saying one of the biggest job of a data analyst is performing of data cleaning. But most times, most of the data as we see online are already clean. So you may not really understand what it means like or what it feels like to get your hands dirty when it comes to cleaning of data. So let me just briefly show you how this data looks. So just simple SQL query. We're just going to select all. Yeah, then from our database should be NBA. Let's see. Yeah. NBA, that's our data. Let's see what we have now. So let's wait for yeah, so good, lovely. We're just going to take a look at some of the columns in this data set. Just to let you know, the data set is two types. One contains information about the players, another one contains the stats of the player. We'll come into that briefly, but let's first of all see what we have here. We have the last attended. Yeah, so we have when they are being drafted into NBA. We have the player age. If you observe now, most of the records in this column are actually null, so we're going to find a way to fill that. We have the player height. You can see we have it both in inches as well as in meters, so we have to either go with the inches or go with the meter. But in this case, in this particular project, I'm just going to show you how to go get the meter from it. Now we have the player info that consists of the team the player plays, the jersey number of the player, as well as the position that the player plays. So basically that is it about this. So we have the player weight here as well. If you can see, it's also in pounds as well as in kg. So we're going to see how we get it in kg, as well as the years of experience. So in this particular demo, because I'm just trying to show you how to use W3schools and Google to learn SQL, so I'm just going to take just a subset of this particular data set and show you an example If you really want to learn more, if you really want me to show you more tricks and more tricks on how you can be very good at querying of database, feel free to reach out to me. So without wasting time, we're just going to pick one, just a short one. I don't want us to linger. And we're going to take this player height. Now we're going to try and extract just 2.18 as the player height in meter. I'll just briefly show you. Let's first of all do something. Let's select that. Let's say player, player height. Lovely. Let's see what we have now. This is a player height now. So I'll just now let's assume you don't know how you can extract those information from this column. Now what do? We're going to use our resource. Remember, Google and W3schools. Let's take the first one, Google. Now let's ask Google how to extract let's say how to extract a character from a record. Let's see what we'll get. Let's say how to extract some characters from a record. Yep, lovely. Let's see what now. Lovely. Let's just open this first. Oh, lovely. We even have one for W3schools. Let's see what W3schools says. Okay, let's see. Now W3schools is telling us to use substring. Now let's first of all understand what a substring is. You know, one thing why I love this W3schools, it gives you explanation of what that particular function is. Then it gives you a syntax and explain the parameter values of that syntax. So let's say the substring. So it says the definition says the substring function extracts some characters from a string. Lovely. So that is what we want to do. We want to extract some characters from that particular string we just saw. Now it gives us the syntax. It says the syntax is this. Now it gives us the definition of each of those parameters that makes up the syntax. Now the first one is the string. So it says is required. So it says the string to extract from. Now start required. The start position, the first position in the string is 1. Lovely. The next one is length required. The number of characters to extract must be a positive. And what we just need to do is just copy our syntax. Let's see how we can use it. Let's come back to this. Now let's do comma. Let's put it here. Now remember I say string. That's where we want to extract data from, which is what our player height, because we want to extract from this column. So we want to say player height. Now it's asking us where to start from. Well, let's just count. I'll come back to explain something, but let's just count. I just want to show you something. So if you start with 7.1, we're trying to get the position of this first number here, which is 2. So let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think 7. Let's say 7. Let's see what we'll get. Just add code it 7. Now I want to get 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to get 4. The length, that's the character I want to get is 4. I'm going to run this and see what we'll get. Now it seems like we are getting what we wanted, but there is a problem. If you take notes of this particular rule 10, we discovered that we're still having the brackets, so it's actually not returning what we really want. And it's not even a good idea to hard code numbers like this, because if anything should happen tomorrow and the database is changed, or some of the values inside the database changes, it will definitely crash our code. So what we need to do is to think of a way to make it dynamic, so that even if there is changes to the records in this database, it doesn't affect, because our code will be dynamic in such a way that it will help us deal with that particular changes in either the table or the records in the data in the database. I'm just going to show you. So now the question is, how do we hard code this now? Remember, we want to get position of this particular number 2. So we can ask Google now how to get the position of a character of a substring in a string. Let's put it that way. Let's see what we get. Let's go back. How to get the position of a substring in, okay, we're getting suggestion in a string SQL. So let's see what we get. Lovely, beautiful. You can see it says we should use, it's even directing us to our second tool that says use W3schools. Let's see what function is suggested there. It's telling us to use var char index. Let's understand what char index is. Now let's read. It says the char index function searches for a substring in a string and returns the position. If the substring is not found, this function returns 0. Note, this function performs a case-insensitive search. That's what we wanted, right? Now we're given the syntax as this, and we are also given the definition of each of the parameters that makes up the syntax. The first one is the substring. It says is required. So this is the substring to search for. The next one is the string, which is required, the string to be searched. The last one is the start. It says optional, the position where the search will start if you do not want to start at the beginning of the string. The position in string is 1. So we're just going to copy it. No stress. Let's copy it and just go and use it. Let's come back here. Now we're going to just test it out and see what we get. I just want to show you something. Just be patient with me. I'll show you something. We're trying to test something here. So we're trying to see. Okay, let's see. Just interesting. Okay, lovely. Now it says the substring. What is the substring here? We're trying to search for the first bracket here. So our substring will be the first bracket. So just replace it with the first bracket there. Lovely. Now it says the string. Remember we saw that the string is where to be searched. Where are we searching? Searching the player. So we just replace our string with player height. Now it's asking us where to start from. Where do we start from? We start from 1, 2, 3. Remember, the start is optional, so we can decide to remove it because we just want to get the position of this. So if we put 1, fine. If we want it to start from 10, fine, but we just want it to start from the first character, which is 1. So it's either we put 1 or we leave it as, we just leave it the way like this. Remember, the definition says if we don't specify the position to start from, it's going to start from position 1, right? And let's test and see what is the position of this character. This bracket here. Let's run just only this query. Just gonna highlight it. Highlight this one and run it. Let's see what we have. Now, if you take notes, we can see it's giving us the position of this particular bracket here, the first one. So it says it's in position 6. If you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you're counting, it also counts the space as one character. Lovely. So it's giving us now that particular row thing that returns one of the character there's a bracket is because it has a different position. So that is why it's not advisable to hard code your hard code in when you're writing your what's it called your code. Now it's giving us the position, but what we need is, okay, let's take it bit by bit. Now we're going to copy this now, so this becomes the position of this place. So we'll just replace it with this 7. Instead of putting 7, we'll put it as this. We don't need this anymore. We'll just use this to test, just so that you understand what we're doing. Now let's run this code. Now, what do you observe? We can see that it's giving us almost what we needed, but it's returning this bracket. We don't need the brackets. So the question is, how do we get rid of the bracket? Remember, we said the second parameter here is where to start from. So we're already telling the code we're writing, we're just saying start from this first bracket. But no, we don't want it to start. We want it to start from after the bracket. So 1 after the bracket. So all we just need to do is just come here. That position, we'll add 1 to it and see what happens. If we add 1, let me do it this way so that the code will understand it. Let's just get this. Okay. Now, if we start from, if you add 1 to it, let's see what happens now. So we can see. So what we did now is, this gives us the position of this particular bracket here. And this last 4 tells us the number of characters we want to extract. We just want to extract 4 characters from it. So that's just a little demo on how you can learn SQL using W3schools and Google. Very simple. So I want to get your thoughts about this. What do you think? If you really want to learn more, if you really want to know more on how to query database, how to use these 2 tools I just said, feel free. You can reach out to me, then we can see how we get things going. Thanks for taking time to go through this particular video I just made. Yeah, see you later.